So who wants to be the test subject? I'm waiting. Who wants to volunteer? Okay, Hannah. Oh, so my question is not clear. So my question is, I'm looking for a volunteer that I would ask a series of questions to, so that we can all learn from what I mean by value. Chooser, please unmute Hannah.
Please, Hannah, please raise your hand.
Is not clear. So my question is, I'm looking for a volunteer that I would ask a series of questions. Choose, I see you are already streaming live on YouTube. Could you also mute that? I'm hearing myself in two places.
Hannah. Hello, Doc. We are good to go now.
Okay, very good.
I just posted the link on the YouTube link right now.
Okay, also post it in the group. Okay, so let's go with Hannah first. Hannah, where are you? Raise your hand so that you can be unmuted.
Hannah, I just asked you to unmute yourself.
Unmute. Okay. Hello.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Good evening, doctor.
Yes, good evening. So I'm not asking you the question yet, but just wait so that I give you a bit of background. So today I'm really focusing on value, right? Because and this is not just you, this is to the entire team. Because if you do not put a value to yourself, people put a value on you. And the truth is that once there is a value that is not put on once there's a value that you have not given to yourself, but it's given by others, you easily become comfortable. You easily lose the passion, the drive, the will, the zeal to want to grow. That's why some people say, I am okay where I am, right? And it's so easy to find ourselves, especially in our environment, to receive the value. That's why we don't just talk of unemployment, we talk of underemployment, right? So the importance of value is to make sure that you do not confine to the environment that you find yourself. How do you raise your value? So now I talk to Hannah. Hannah, again, how are you?
I'm very fine, Doc.
Okay, so what does value mean to you?
Okay, apart from being what I place on myself, like the way I see myself and what I believe I am up to, what I can carry on. It's for me, value is the standard I place, like that people can see, people can easily know that, okay, this is who I am, and they don't go below that. They don't treat me below the way I treat myself, the way I see myself. So for me, that's value, what I place on myself, the standard I give myself. Yeah.
Okay, and now that you talked about the standard you gave to yourself, so what is that standard? And
okay,
how are you managing to keep that standard under environments that are obviously not supporting it?
Okay, so how do I manage to keep that standard, and what is that standard? Okay, so that standard.
What is that standard? Yeah.
What is that standard? It's
Okay, let me make it easier, because again, like I said, I want we are definitely living in a data age, right? So everything that you should put a number on anything you are doing or saying. That's why you have rating on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being least, 10 being most most appreciated or being the best. Rate this to that so that we can be able to compare. So let me rephrase the question so that it will be easier. Now, if you were to be paid, right, based on, like, if you were to be paid based on who you want to be tomorrow, what value would that be?
Okay, that would be really huge because
No, just give the number. You
okay,
give the because later.
per annum, I wouldn't be accepting anything less than in dollars. I wouldn't be accepting less than six figures from, let's say, $150,000, I think, per annum.
Huh?
$150,000. Now, the next
Per annum,
question is, look, yeah, per annum, yes. That is doable. People do that. People earn that. So for this $150,000 you have given as a value, what difference is that value versus what you earn now?
Oh, it's a huge difference. It's it's a very large difference. Like the gap is too long, it's too wide, and that's because I personally would take responsibility for that. I haven't developed my skill as much as I should, and yeah, I cannot really say I can compete with people that are up there that are earning what I just value myself as.
Okay. Now that's good. It's good to have the value you want to be, you want to earn, and then you can look at the value you are earning now, and you know there is a gap. So now the final question to you is, looking at this value, right, that you just mentioned per annum, versus what you earn now. You said it's obviously your fault. You are responsible. You have not done certain things. So do you see, like, how do I phrase this so that it comes out clearly? So there is the value where you want to go, right? So you have in your mind that this is what you see yourself, like where you can be saying, okay, I'm comfortable in terms of being paid this amount because this is the value I've valued myself. And then there's the value today. Now, what is the value you can give to yourself now based on what you know? So you have talked about the one in the future. So there is the value of yourself in the future, self-value of the future. Then there is value of others of you. The values that you are being paid is the value others have given to you. Based on the job, they have decided that this is the amount we're going to pay this person. It's not necessarily about Anna or anything, but this is the position available. This is the salary on this position. Anybody on this position earns that amount. So that's the value. You are valued today by others. Now, you have talked about your value, the value of yourself in the future. Now, what is the value of yourself now?
It's not even half of the value people place on me. So I wouldn't really value myself really high right now.
No. So means what you are saying is that what you are earning now is much more than what you value yourself currently.
No. Like it's somewhere in between, but it's not even close to what people value would value me.
That's why I'm using numbers.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a feeling.
Okay, so
like say in percentage, what you are being paid versus what you would have paid yourself if you wanted to employ yourself. Looking at your skills and where you are at the moment, what percentage would that be versus what you are being paid?
I'll give it around 30%.
So you are earning 30% of the value you give to yourself. So you are 70% less of what you should have been paying yourself if you wanted to utilize the skills you have at the moment.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hannah. I know that was quite tough to be on such a spot.
Yeah,
but
I didn't really give very correct figures because I wasn't prepared for this. I was just giving abstract figures, like not exact figures. So actually of
It's
what I
okay. I
know.
don't also, if you ask me the same question, I don't think I will give you figures in two decimal places. So
Okay.
it's going to be relative. So thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you
So
so much.
guys, I will not be taking the others. I think I tried to take one more person, but the point I want to make here, and this is not really about Hannah. You see, it's easier for us to lose or not even consider that touch. I remember my brother, who is also my mentor, there was something that he wanted me to learn. And each time I made a mistake, I always came back and said, I've done this, but this happened. And he said, but what is the value of what you are losing? That is the value of learning. In fact, there's a term for it. They call it the cost of learning. It's cost of innovation. When you talk of entrepreneurship, they have what they call cost of innovation. So, like, how much do you really spend before that innovation or that idea? Because innovation is when you already have it generating money or being in the market. So, what is the cost of idea for it to get to that point that you can start making money with it? And that's a very important concept, even in economics, right? Like, there is an area that you will be spending up to the point in which you can start earning. And if that is so long, you might become broke. Like, if you might have $1 million, but because your cost of learning is so long, is so expensive, if you are not smart enough, if you have not designed your process very well, if you have not designed your learning plan very well, you would spend all that 1 million without even making one pencil. You are still in the ideation phase, but you have not gotten to the point that you can start breaking even to even get something on the market. So that is the same thing about how we need to start thinking about ourselves, right? If you do not understand how to value yourself, not just for the sake of, I feel like I should earn 200,000. Why should you earn 200,000? Oh, because I'm a graduate. How does that make you to earn 200,000? What is a job of 200,000 like? What skills are needed for me to do this type of job? Do I have those skills? Right? So do I have those skills that are required for me to be able to earn this money I'm want to value myself with? Because at the end of the day, the most important truth is the one you tell yourself. So self-deception is the worst thing that you can ever do. It's worse because when you lie to yourself, you don't even allow yourself to even grow because you become comfortable, you become docile, you become, just laissez-faire, let tomorrow come. No, that's not what we are trying to achieve here. So value is very important. So when I said put a value on what this platform means to you, it's not for you to just write a number. It's to help you think, what does it really mean? For some people, they might say, okay, the value of this platform is the value of the scholarship that I'm going to get. But just being in this platform is not what makes you to get that scholarship. So what is that number that you can put? Because each time you look at that number, I am here, I want to go to, I'm in point A, I want to go to point B. I need to make sure that I understand small a, small b to move to that point B. What is the cost of learning these ones? Is this cost of learning this one equal to the cost I would get when I move to B? For example, imagine that you want to move from A to B. You are earning 50,000. Your B, you would earn 100,000. But the cost of moving to B is going to cost you 1 million. That's not a move you want to make. I'm putting numbers to help you understand what that means. You could have well said, okay, I wouldn't go to B because the cost of going to B doesn't justify the reason of being at B. And the B here doesn't necessarily mean like that area that you want to be in the future. You could, if it's your passion that you want to go to B, you would put a value on that passion. You are not going to arrive at B and say, oh, I spent 1 million, now I'm earning just 100,000. You know exactly where you want to go to. And you have understood how to value. So most times, some people always share that as an example. when you see all these different trainings that are charged, when you have charged trainings, a lot of people come and they say, oh, it's too expensive. Why should I pay 5,000, 10,000 to attend this? Why should I pay 50,000 to attend a live some master class? Why should I? No, because they don't know the value. That's just the simple truth. You don't know the value. I'm talking here about the value. I'm not interested. The next question would be, are these people that are delivering these classes, are they worth their pay? That's a complete different question. But the first question here is, what they're about to give me, is it worth what they're asking for? That is why value is very important. And it helps you not to avoid things that are important. It's the same thing that you can come and tell me, okay, there's a scholarship that wants me to pay an application fee. The application fee can be 20,000. And you say, but I do not think this scholarship is worth of me to pay 20,000. Or I do not think I want to take that risk because I'm not comfortable with the application. That is how you measure. Some people will say, I do not have this money. I will make sure I find it and pay for it. I think I've said an example here of a mentee last year. He's in China now. That when he got he was shortlisted for the interview, but he needed to pay like 50,000. So he wrote me and said, but I don't want to pay this. I said, why? He said, it's too expensive. I said, what is the worth of the scholarship? The worth in Naira was about 20 million. So I said, okay, the worth of this scholarship is 20 million. You are shortlisted, you are about 10 now that have been shortlisted. So what is your chance of scaling through? He said, maybe 50%. I said, so are you telling me that you are not willing to risk 50,000 for a 50% probability that you are going to get 20 million? He said, oh, I didn't think about it that way. Don't just shy from things because they call a number. You just run away as if once you hear it is charged, you don't even want to consider anything about it. Don't be that. That's why I talked about mindset first before talking of value. Because if your mindset is not changed, how do you understand value? So don't be that person that just jump from one corner of free thing to the next free thing. Simply for the sake that it is free. You could also forget that your time is also value. You could go to something that is free that costs you 2 hours of your time. That could have been achieved with let's say you spent 2 hours because you wanted to do something for free, but someone else was willing to make you do it in 20 minutes for 2,000 naira. You can now look, your 2 hours is equal to 2,000. So put everything in perspective, understand your value, not for the sake of feeling good. When you put a number, you start working towards it. It becomes concrete that, I cannot really work at this level because I do not have these skills. It challenges you. So this is self-reflection. You look at where you are. How are people valuing you? How are you valuing yourself? How do you want to be valued in the future? When you know these three numbers, you know exactly where you are. Then you start planning, strategizing, how do you move to that value you have given to yourself in the future? Some people could actually be in a place that they feel they're even more valued, much more than what they value themselves. And that is also going to help you to rise up above that self-subjugation. I remember which many of you would get, when you move out and go somewhere and you are being paid, you might easily start feeling like, oh my God, I've never thought I can be paid this much. Because you don't even know what is your value. But gradually you start realizing that, oh, some people are even paid much more than me. You forget that you are the same person that didn't imagine you would earn that much. You are now worried about the person that is paid much more than you. You don't know your value. Then the person that is paid much more than you has more experience, knows exactly what he's doing, but you have led your comfort of what you did not imagine you would earn. You are now bothered about what the other person earns. It's just a matter of losing focus of what your value is and where you want to be. And this is not necessarily about money. I am talking about money here because it's something you can hold. You can understand 1 million can buy me this. This is what my value is. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm going to be working towards. So we have talked first mindset. We have talked today about value. And you can see the direction we are going towards. I am looking for a group that we understand in the future that it wouldn't be, if we see, okay, there is this training that we need to get some people to attend because it's going to help us achieve this as a group. We pay for it if that is what it means. Not shying away simply because it's paid. Then losing the benefit of it and never knowing what it is. Only waiting for when it becomes free. No, that's not how it works. So take the time, self-reflection, think about what is your value now. If you are not employed, that is okay. Ask yourself, if I were to be employed, that job, how much do people pay for entry staff at, let's say you are to be a GA, for example, a graduate assistant. What is the entry salary for a graduate assistant? Okay, 100,000. What is the value of myself? Right now, I would say the same. Okay, means you are at parity with what you are being paid or you could be paid. What is the value of my future? Oh, 500,000. Okay, what kind of job in that future is paying 500,000? Maybe as a data analyst. Okay, data analyst pays 500,000. Now I'm earning 100,000. What do I need to make sure I become a data analyst? Oh, I need to do this Python. I need to do R. I need to do this, and this. Where can I do? Of course, you can explore those options. Like I said, your time is also money. When you say you earn 100,000 in a month, how many hours do you work in that month? You can divide it and know how much you are worth every hour, at least that you are being paid every hour. When you say you are worth 1 million per month, calculate your 1 hour and you can tell yourself that, okay, my 1 hour that somebody wants me to, that I need 2 hours to learn this myself. But there's somebody that knows it that can teach me in 30 minutes. If I do it by myself, based on my self-valuation, each of my hours costs 10,000. So if I do this for 2 hours, it's 20,000. This person is going to do it for me for 5,000. If I learn it from this person, I only learn it in 20 minutes. I have 1 hour, 40 minutes left. It changes everything. So that is how you know what your worth is. Don't just be the person that everybody put a value on. Oh, you are worth 50,000. Then that is it. You plan your life around the 50,000. You calculate how you are going to live your life around the 50,000. You become the 50,000. You live inside that amount. Then when you see a training that might cost 10,000 to make you move out from that, you say it's too expensive. It's 20% of my salary. But you forget that that 20% of your salary can move you beyond where you are earning now times 2 or times 3 of it. Remember, if you put your value into down to that's why I said, what is the value you have given to yourself versus the value people have given to you? Because I know a lot of people are underemployed. They are not paid how much they should actually worth. What is the easiest way of calculating your self-worth? Not really your self-worth, like what it makes sense for you to earn to be able to live like a human. How much does rent in that area cost? How much does transport cost? How much does food cost? When you put all of this together, in an ideal situation, it shouldn't be more than 50% of what you are earning. So it can already give you a feeling. Even when you are not earning something, you can already understand, like, if I were to earn, it costs 20,000 per month where I live. It costs 10,000 to move around, like on average to areas where you have companies that I could likely work in. That's 30,000. My cost of food is maybe 500 per day in a month. You get a number. At the end of the day, you put together and you see it's 50,000. Now, if I earn 50,000, I will be zero. It doesn't mean you have even started earning 50,000. It doesn't mean you should not take a 50,000 job. It simply means you know that with that 50,000 job, because even if you don't have the 50,000 job, of course, you will not go to work. So you are not spending 10,000. Of course, you might not need to live on your own. So you are not spending rent. But you don't just live with your parents and forget that there is actually a cost included. There is a cost you are incurring for not even producing or earning. Begin to challenge yourself. And that's why I said, be wherever you are. It doesn't matter whether you're in Nigeria. It doesn't matter whether you're in any country. This could also be true for people that live here in Europe or anywhere in the world. When you do not understand your value, you cannot plan. You can be in the same place for many years. There is not going to be any movement because you are not making any movement. You are not improving, upskilling. You are just there comfortably living each day as they come. That is not the kind of people we are looking for here. So take the time, reflect, focus on your value. Give yourself that value. And each time you look at it, you say, I am not there, but this is what I'm doing to get there. This is the steps I'm taking. These are the programs I'm following up. These are the things I want to learn because I want to justify what I want to earn tomorrow. When somebody asks you, that's why some people say when you go to an interview, they said, how much do you want to be paid? I don't want to sound ignorant, or I don't want to sound, I am. By the time you say you need 200,000 per month, are you worth 200,000? What does 200,000 worth look like? It doesn't mean 200,000 is a lot of money. The question is, why are you worth, or you think you are worth 200,000? Can you answer that question? Without just the feeling of it. Because, and I remember very well when I started my internship, I did my first internship back in 2009, my second year internship, and I was in a paint company, right? I remember when I started, they said they are going to pay me 3,000 naira per month. For me, when I came every morning, the manager would be like, there's this woman that always brings food. She would say, Casey, take some food. I'll be saying, no, because I already know I've earned 3,000. I don't want a situation where by the end of the month, they'll tell me I've eaten my 3,000. So I said, no. I am fine. I've eaten at home. And what happened was, at the end of my internship, he didn't even pay. And I was just telling myself, if I was eating 200 every day for the food, in 1 month, I would have eaten 200 times, let's say 20 days. I would have eaten 6,000. The man was not even calculating that he would pay me 6,000 if I was just eating food, right? So I didn't get the money, I didn't get the food. Now, when I went back to school, I kept calling him like, Oga, pay me because I finally did 2 months, pay me the internship money. After back and forth, he ended up paying me 5,000. I think it was really a good thing because I learned a skill that I can put a value to be able to even start then a startup making paints and the rest. But that is a very big verse. I didn't really say, okay, because you did not pay me, you're a bad person. I got a skill. When I went my 6 months internship in Lagos then, so they asked me that question, how much did you earn in your last internship? I didn't even want to say it because I'm like, of course it was in Enugu. I could trek from home 30 minutes to my internship place. I didn't pay kobo in terms of house rent. So every money that came was mine. In Lagos, I cannot trek from Ikeja to Ogba. It's not possible. So I needed to spend on transport and everything. So I was a bit uncomfortable to say that I was earning 3,000 per month because my thinking was perhaps they are going to pay the same. But of course, they know what they pay their interns. So when eventually I was paid 12,000, it was a lot of money, like, wow. But this is Lagos. When I did the calculation of the transport I was taking, each day transport would have costed me like 400 naira, 400 to 500. So calculate 500 times 24 days that we're going to work. How much does it give you? That's 12,000. So if I was doing that transport, if I was following the way this transport would have been set up, means I would have earned 1 month and just took the money and gave to the Danfo drivers and the Okada people. But that's not why I came to Lagos. I didn't come to Lagos to just go back and forth. And at the end of the day, I cannot even go back home with bread for my mom or my dad. So I just take the difference there and factor that, no, I cannot work like this. It's not going to work. I started doing most part of it by trekking. At least I could reduce my cost of transport to like 200 per day. So the point I'm trying to make here is, even when I was doing that internship and earning 12,000, and then when I became a GA, and that was like times 10 of what I earned as an intern, it just kept becoming obvious that it's not how much you earn at the end of the day. It's really the value that you have given to yourself that is going to enable you to move forward. Because some people will tell you, okay, now that you have gotten this job, settle down, relax. What else are you looking for? It's not really because you are looking for money for the sake of it. It's the value that you want to develop and become that person tomorrow. And that's what is going to keep moving you up, right? So when I say we are always work in progress, it's not just for the sake of saying it, because it's the truth. That is what it is, except you are someone that feels you have arrived and then you can do whatever you want. But if you are not working constantly and you do not know where you are working to, just because Casey said work, we are all working in progress. Where is that progress? Where are you going to? Without that value, without that is what gives you that direction. And I always say it's direction over speed. So for those that say, I've been applying for many years, I always ask the question, are you in the direction you should be? Or are you focused on speed? Maybe the first 5 years you have been applying in the opposite direction. So it's even better for you, because if you had even started, you might have run up to Lokoja when you should be going to Lagos. Then when you arrive Lokoja, you will need to come back to your starting point before you redirect to Lagos. Does it make sense? So at least you are in the same spot. You have not moved towards Lokoja. You have not moved towards Lagos. You are in a better position than someone that has run off in the opposite direction, that needs to walk back to where they are before start moving to their right direction. So it's direction over speed. And when you put a value, it makes you to be clear on that direction where you are going. And as I said, every step counts. The small steps, the small mini wins, you just know that, yes, I'm taking my time, or the time is taking me, but I am moving to my direction. I'm moving to my goal. I'm moving to that future that I've been planning and working towards. It's better than someone that is just on the mark set, they have already reached the opposite direction. So in conclusion, check what your value is, because we like Naira and Kobo shouldn't be a reason why we shy away from opportunities that could change our life. Before you say you are not paying or paying, ask yourself, what is the value? What is this going to bring? Don't just feel like you have 24 hours, you have no hour time. When I talk to you, I know what my 1 hour cost. I know the value of one of my hour. I know what it costs. So when I tell you that it's expensive, it's because I know what it means. Otherwise, I would not just speak with you forever and ever and feel that I know. It doesn't work that way. So get self-reflection. When you get the questionnaire to respond, don't just put a number. There will be 2 questions. One will be what, 3 of them, value of where you are at the moment, value of yourself for today, value of yourself for tomorrow. And I would always ask time. Without time, we are really not going to be able to compare anything. So what is that future? There, it could be 5 years, in 10 years. Then you now start asking yourself, like, okay, in 5 years, I want to do this. What should I be doing now that will help me to go to that 5 years? That is why you talk about planning, working towards your goal. You see how putting your value and all, it would also help you to know, how do I spend my time? How much time have I spent today on things that are not helping me grow? Then by the time you know that one of your hours is cost 10,000 naira, you will knock your head and say, I just lost 10,000 naira. Then you do 2 hours, you have lost 20,000 naira. Without putting those numbers, everything would always appear to you like for the sake of it, for the sake of it. That's why you will go and join a free program for 5 hours because it's free. It's actually 50,000 you have paid with your time, but you have no idea. So self-reflect, consider what your value are. We will need to know what, as I said, for me, the focus will be, what is the value this platform means to me? You will put a number to it so that when you do not do what you have to do, I can come back to you and say, Oga, this is the value you said this platform is worth. Can I have it? Then you begin to understand what it really means on making commitments. So as I said, it's not going to be about the number. I know many of you might have attended to because you want to make sure you are not out of the group. Being in the group is what we are talking about here. It's not going to make you special because you are in Dr. Casey's group, then you are some blessed person. No, that's not the point. So be here because you need to be here. Okay, let it be something that is important to you as a person. Because as I said, the goal of this platform is long-term. We are building a long-term sustainable society. I want to know that in 5 years, 10 years, I want to imagine what you guys can be. Like God keeping all of us alive, where we can be, how we can celebrate and keep influencing this world. It doesn't start tomorrow, it starts today. Actually, it started yesterday. So if we are not building our mindset to drive that kind of community, we would have a big issue. We would have people that feel that, oh, they just want to get a scholarship. And I'm fine for those that get a scholarship and leave. It doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't pain me. Yes, just remember how you got what you got. Good luck for you in your future. But you are really not in my plan of what I have of this group. So this group might not necessarily end up to be only people that have gotten scholarship. That's not the point. So let's realize what importance this means to us and why being in this group would help us walk towards that future we are building for ourselves. Okay, if this is not in the plan of your future, if this is not in the plan of things, like it's not those things that you have as being an enabler of you to achieve your future, then you are not in the right place. This is not the right thing. And you now begin to see why I have a big concern accepting new mentees, because they will not really understand these things. When they come to me, I understand many of them are coming because we shared people that got scholarship, and we are going to keep sharing. I will not stop doing that because it's to keep showing. Of course, there are many ways of mentoring. Mentoring doesn't mean you need to be in this group. By people reading my posts and reacting and getting clearance and information and getting more determined, resilient, that is to me a very big success. And I will keep doing that by God's grace. So for us in this group, let's understand fundamentally why this group is important to us. If we cannot understand that, this is not, we are using WhatsApp because of the sake of it, but this is not just one of the numerous WhatsApp groups that you are part of, that you can attend today, you come tomorrow, say, oh, there are so many messages, I don't know what is happening here. No, that's not going to work. So when we move to the next group, you would realize how much engaging we have to be. Really, really engaging. So important, you take the time off. We are going to compile the list. As I said, the rule was not to make anybody become hurt or injure or hate anybody. Is to make sure that we stay with people that really want to be in this group. And if you end up because you are not in 2 of these meetings and you are out, there is an option for you to come in. So don't think it's the end of the world, okay? If you think the option is too expensive, I don't have anything to say. Again, it doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean any of us here hates you, okay? And it doesn't mean like because you're out of this group, you will never get a scholarship. You still have friends. They can always share to you things that are shared in the group that helps you. I do not mind. We are not in a secret court that hide everything we are doing, so secretive. So that's not the plan. But like I said, in our next meeting, when we would have moved to the new group, you will begin to realize how much work we are doing in the background to make sure that everybody, if we end up 250 or whatever the number, everybody that will be in the group will be active. If you cannot be active, just simply don't be part of it. Of course, you will easily be moved. So this is no longer going to be everybody being around for the sake of being, okay? So thank you all very much. I see I have like some reactions. I'll take 2 or 3 reactions, then I should stop talking. Okay, thank you. So Chibuzo, do you want to manage those that are raising up there? I see Sunday. Who else wants to say something? You want to react? I want to get your feedback, so I'm listening. Is Chibuzo still there? Yes, Emmanuel, we are not using the Slack platform because I realized that many people are not very conversant with the platform. It was very difficult to manage, but let's discuss when we move to the next group whether we want to reactivate how to use this platform, okay? Chibuzo, are you still in the meeting?
Doc, I'm in the meeting.
Enid, can you manage that? It looks like Chibuzo is not here.
Yes, I'm doing that already.
Okay, yeah, Shady, you wanted to say something.
Shady, yeah, good evening, Doc. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, really, I was really reluctant to participate in tonight's section, but along the line, I discovered that it has been worth the time, because when you were speaking on value, which is the key context for tonight, you mentioned something that actually struck me, because I also did an internship. As a matter of fact, I worked to the company, met the MD, and I asked that I want to do it for free. I don't want to be paid, because it was an environmental analytical lab. That was the first time in my life that I would see that you could use chemistry to make money. So I saw that from analysis, the company was making so much money. They had about 2 GCMS, they had AS machines, of course, beyond their normal apparatus for the chemistry students in the house. So I saw that a lot of money. That was the first time that, so chemistry can fetch so much money. So I went to the company. I said, I want to learn without payment. The man looked at me very odd, like, so no payment at all. Please, can you hear me, sir? Hello? Am I being heard? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Continue.
Okay, so the man offered me the position, and of course it was an environmental lab. We're doing so many projects, environmental compliance monitoring projects, environmental impact assessment projects, analyzing wastewater, analyzing soil and sediment samples. I was just learning forth without being paid. I was not interested in the money, but the man saw me. He saw the way I was working. He called me to his office, although it was 2 days. 2 days, I said I would be coming 2 days because I was also teaching jam classes. That was before when I came back from NYC, or before my NYC, sorry. Yeah, around that time, I've forgotten. So I was doing that 2 days. The man saw my effort and he called me to his office and he said he wants to pay me. And he was paying me 10,000 for those 2 days. And he added some more responsibility for me to be doing some compiling the data on Excel. So what am I saying? As I'm speaking to you, and there's a project I'm involved in, and it's so easy by God's grace because I got enough training and background knowledge from that company. So but I got paid. I got paid for 2 days, and I got the knowledge. But I didn't go to the company with the mindset of being paid. I was after the knowledge because I knew what it was. So I could really connect to the context tonight, and I really appreciate you, Doc, for bringing this up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that feedback, because when I talk about putting value as money is something for you to hold. Of course, for example, in your case, you can say that, and also in my case, when I did my first internship, that I gained knowledge and I can put a value of that knowledge. When I came back from my internship, when I did that my second year internship, and I did my fourth year internship, when I came back to the house, my dad had just renovated the house. I said, I'm going to make the paint to paint this house. Then a bucket of paint was costing about, let's say, 3,000 naira, right? But because I was making the paint myself, I was ending up with a cost of production of about 500 to less than 1,000. Now, I know that we needed like 50 buckets of paints to paint that house. You see, there is a value. That is what I mean by value. It's not necessarily that you are being paid 1 million. Like where you are at that moment, what time, how you are spending your time, what is the worth of that knowledge, lesson, whatever you are getting from it. When you quantify it as money, you can hold it. So this is just another example where you can realize that, yes, I'm going to this place because I'm being exposed to get these skills that would close that gap. When you now start applying to certain places in the future and you say, like, let's say you're applying to a program and you say, I have this skill, it differentiates you, right? It gives you that opportunity. That scholarship you get could really be because this person has these technical skills. And that is what it really means when you talk about building that your value. When you know what your value is today, make sure the things you are doing tomorrow is helping to improve that value to what you want it to be in the future. So if it's not helping you to improve it, you cannot say, okay, because I've been here for 1 year, I should be earning more. What is different versus when you were there last year? What else have you improved on to give you that push, or to give you that information or that knowledge or that skill to earn more? So earning more would not necessarily end up with being that money. It could also be ending up with taking more responsibilities, right? And so, yeah, that's just one of it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome, Doc.
Yeah. Okay, so we have another feedback and then I would have to leave. Chibuzo, please, you guys should wait and make sure that you get the registration done. For many of you that had issues, like I said, I give you another example just before I leave. When I was serving in River State, one day I came to the class and I told my students that today they are going to write a test, but I will not be there, right? So they now said, but people are going to cheat. I said, why would people cheat? Who is people? Or who are people? Is people somebody's name? Because one guy stood up and said, but sir, people are going to cheat. I said, are you people? He said, no, my name is this. I said, then why are you speaking for others? He said, because I know. I said, how do you know? I now asked the others, is this guy speaking your mind? They said, no. I said, fine, means you are going to write the test without me being in class. If any of you want to cheat, so be it. I will not be there to know you cheated. But remember, self-deception is the worst thing you can do. If I come back and all of you have 90 over 100, I will just go and tell the principal that I don't have any job to do. So the things you should learn, you will not learn them because I have assumed based on your performance that you all know it. So if you want me to teach you more, I need to understand that you are not following what I've been teaching, because out of the outcome of what you're going to write. So eventually they wrote that test without me being there, and it was one of the worst tests they wrote. Why am I saying this? I trust people, not because it's always the best thing to do, but because I don't want to use my energy, my time to start doing investigation. I don't want to research to know is this person lying or this person not lying. So please do the attendance based on whether you were there or not. If you were there, and that's why I said, don't come to me and say this person said this, but no. If somebody writes to you and said, I was in the first meeting, mark the person present. Full stop. I don't want to go into investigation. And what I'm doing is giving you that confidence that I have, which I think many of you understand how much time it took to come into this group, that I understand I can trust the people that I call my mentees. So if you were not there, you were not there. Fine, don't be there. Just accept it for what it is. There could be many reasons why you are not there. I know we all have reasons. There are many reasons. Some are very, very good reasons that could not be avoided, but that is what it is. And we have to walk forward, right? So please make sure you go to Enid after, give her some time to walk over the list. So I would say that first you take care of the attendance of today, then let her compile all the list. Then she will share it again in the group, and you can come back and put your argument on whether your name was not on the list. I know some of you joined after the first meeting was already done. I'm aware of that. So please, let's be a bit more orderly, okay? And so I want to wish all of you the best. Remember, we are always work in progress. We are all work in progress. None of us are different, right? We all have where we need to improve, and that is important that we keep recognizing that. And because the more you recognize that there is something else for you to improve on, the more you are going to build on it. Okay? Okay, so take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend. Chibuzo, please share the attendance and please wait behind. And also remember those that are watching on YouTube, okay? Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, before I forget, where is Michael? Could you unmute Michael? Michael Tomori. I know that we wanted to talk about the hangout in Lagos, right? Chibuzo, could you unmute Michael? Enid, could you unmute Michael?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Michael, how are you? That was
Fine,
the plan,
sir.
right?
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for that wonderful section. It was really insightful and educative. So concerning the hangouts here in Lagos, actually, we are working on how we can do a flyer for it. But hopefully, by next week, the flyer will be out before Monday or Tuesday. It's just the logo that we are waiting for. So we'll be having a Zoom meeting. So I'll be having a talk with Chubuzo if this platform will be available. So we can all discuss and see how we can plan ahead for the hangout. Yeah, so that is what I have for my head. It is to create a WhatsApp group, you know?
And the date has been decided.
I didn't get you.
What date has been decided on?
Yeah, most people chose 28. Yeah, so we want to finalize it among ourselves because some people gave a very valid reason why we shouldn't put 28. So it's either we bring it, put it 27 or 28, or we move it to the following week on the 7th. Because on the 7th of March, also have the second highest population. Oh, yeah.
Basically, it's going to be weekend because people are doing something.
Yeah, exactly. So if we did not do it on the 28th is Sunday, then we'll shift it to 7th, which is Saturday, the following week. That is why we want to hold the Zoom meeting. So that is where all the necessary preparation, what we'll be doing throughout the whole section for that day. We'll plan everything together.
I think it's better to set up a WhatsApp group that you can delete after the session so that you guys can plan on it, okay?
Yeah.
And of course, though, this is not just for Lagos per se. Like if you think, some of you, I think the Aba people met some time ago. As much as possible, I want that you get to know each other physically. So if you want to organize in your own area, maybe Lucky, I don't know, maybe you want to organize those in Imo State. And somebody wants to organize those in Enugu, wherever you guys think there is some number, or Abuja people want to meet, please get to meet and put a face on the name. It's very important, okay? Like I said, we are building a family here, and it will be good that each person or some people know who the other people they're always talking with. So please, let's just try to plan it. So among yourself, depending on where you are, try to make the arrangement to meet. And of course, you can always try to check up with me if there's a possibility to be there, okay? Now I'm going to leave so that you take care of the attendance. So take care of yourself, bye-bye.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Trust everyone is doing well. This is Enide Adiego. So I've shared the link for the attendance form. So please go through it, and please also indicate if you attended the first and second meeting. I observed that most people had some names were not included, were omitted in the list. So please just indicate in the form so that I can update every information. Thank you. I don't know if there's anyone that wants to say any other thing. Please just indicate by raising your hands up so that I can unmute you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Onuchi, I can hear you.
So I saw a question on the Google attendance list you shared about, do we want KC mentorship platform to be moved? I don't understand the question.
Please, can you answer the question again? Can you repeat the
So
question?
there's a question on the Google link you shared.
Okay. What is the question exactly?
Do you want KC something of, let me read it out. Do you want KPM to change? Something like that. I don't understand the question.
Is there anything you wanted to change? It's just more of feedback. Probably something that you think we could work on or we could improve on. Just feedback. That's all.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Timmy, I've asked you to unmute. Are you there?
Who is unmuting?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, please, what's the date for the first meeting?
30th of January.
What are you saying?
30th January. 30th January is the
Okay, thank you.
Jonathan, I don't know if you want to say anything. I can see your hands up and I'm asking you to unmute.
Okay, actually, I dropped a message. I was trying to know since the meeting has Doc has ended his section and I
Yes,
filled the Google form. Do I have the permission to leave the meeting?
yes, exactly. Please, if you're done with your attendance, you can as well exit the group. I'm just waiting to make sure that everyone is done. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night.